All right, welcome to another episode of the ChiselMe podcast. I'm your host, Miguel Foster. The ChiselMe podcast is where we break the rough edges, sharpen the soul, and build the man within. Every episode is a lesson, a story, or a letter designed to carve you into the man or woman you were meant to be. This is where transformation begins, one intentional cut at a time. Once again, I'm Miguel Foster, and with me is my childhood and adulthood. Is that the way to say? Is my friend, dear friend, Thomas Connell, or TC for short. Welcome, TC.
Thank you, Miguel. Thank you so much. Can I just say, I like the intro. I really do love the intro. I'm a fan of the intro. The intro is really
You
cool.
love it?
I do.
Okay, I like that. The topic for tonight, before the relationship, becoming the man who can carry one.
Before the relationship, becoming the
Becoming the
man
man
who
who
can
can
carry
carry
one.
one. Yes.
Yep. That
Now,
sounds dense.
as you know, we're both as I mentioned already. We have been friends since childhood. We attended the same prep school, the
That we
Savannah
did.
Lamar SDA Preparatory School in Westmoreland, Jamaica. Went to different high schools, but we went to the same university, hung
That we
around the
did.
same friend groups for a number of years, and we've seen each other grow up. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
sure we've had this conversation many times, albeit more informal and off
Yeah.
the record, of course, which is
Thankfully.
why when I thought about this, you're right, both of you're right, because I may be more transparent now, but there are just certain things and certain people which shall not be
Yeah.
mentioned and shall not be named on this platform yet,
Amen.
maybe. I'll stop give trouble. I'll stop give trouble. But still, we have had this discussion many times, and a part of it is because of the different um, perspectives that we have.
Yeah.
However, despite us having different perspectives, we've always been able to understand each other and make concessions. So tonight isn't really a debate, it's more so a conversation about how men, especially, are taught to value love, relationships, and the timing, and whether sometimes we as men put the cart before the horse.
Ooh, child. All
Yeah.
right.
So it's gonna be really interesting, this conversation.
Yeah.
So my first question to you, Thomas, or TC. Can we never call it Thomas yet? So just TC.
Very few people do, by the way.
Exactly. When you think about fulfillment in life, where do relationships rank for you personally, and why?
Mm. That's a great one to start with. That's a great one to start with. Um, let me digress a little bit. When you were giving your intro just now, talking about the fact that we met back in prep school, I remember listening to the pod that you released earlier this week with Morgan, and I remember the day when your father got shot. I remember hearing the news at school, and I hadn't thought about it since then until you said it. I'm like, yo, I remember this day. So it just took me back because we're coming from afar, a taller time, as some people would say.
Yep.
And that brings me to answer your question now. Relationships. I know you're asking specifically about heterosexual relationships. The intimate kind of relationship, but
Yeah.
in the same sense, I think relationships generally they rank pretty highly in my mind because as much as I've grown to be, I've grown through different phases in life. There's a point where I was highly social. I was like a chatterbox. You would know this from prep school days. And then I became pretty reclusive in later years, teenage years and early adult years. And I guess I'm now growing back to a stage where I'm a lot more ambiverted than I am introverted. As I discover myself and learn about myself, and I in that process of discovery, I'm recognizing the importance of relationship, and not just heterosexual relationships in terms of having an intimate partner, but relationships generally. And I find that because I tend to isolate myself so much, that I really, really value the people who are close to me. And I think in the same breath, I'd hold an intimate relationship with a partner equally as high. So they rank pretty highly in my mind. Um, we're not meant to be alone. The Bible itself said so. It's not good for man to be alone, and I fully agree with that. Um, it's also important for a man not to burn on his own, you know, burn in the sense that the Bible puts it. It's good to have a partner. I definitely do that. It ranks pretty highly in my mind.
So from what I'm getting, you highly prioritize casual and platonic relationships, and we're including friendships in that context. But when it comes on to intimate monogamous relationships, it's something that you also view equally as high at this point.
I think I think I hold, and this might sound weird, I think I hold the importance of both on the same level. No, if you have an intimate relationship, a monogamous relationship, a partner, obviously that would be a priority as opposed to having a platonic friendship. But I think the importance of both I hold equally, in the sense that the same way you should be approaching healthy platonic relationships, you should have a similar mindset, a similar approach into having intimate monogamous relationships. Does that make sense?
You should have a healthy mindset for both, basically.
Yeah.
Okay, I agree with you there.
I think the traits that you carry into a platonic friendship are highly the traits that you definitely take into a monogamous relationship.
That's actually really true, because many persons indeed in the quest for companionship, they prioritize, getting a girlfriend or a wife.
Exactly.
From the male perspective,
exactly.
That they neglect the platonic friendships that they should have with other females.
In fact, I think people jump into relationships with an intimate partner when really and truly you're just lonely, you need a friend. You know?
And I must say that I have been guilty of that more than once, you know this. So I used to make that mistake indeed of rushing into relationships because I felt like something was missing from my life, or I felt like I was lonely, or there are times when I had friends who, while they were friends, rich friends, I used to think that it was almost a mandatory thing, that the natural progression from the platonic friendship must be an intimate friendship. So there are some persons that I had no business being in a relationship with, like an intimate one. I was much better off being platonic friends with them.
Yeah, so unfortunately, you can't never know until you run that gamble, can you?
No, and the good thing is that me understanding that, I've learned from it, and I hope that other persons who made that mistake would have learned from that as well, because it happens more often than you think for persons to just move into a relationship.
I agree. Yeah, I agree.
And I mean, biology dictates a lot.
For real. And I know we'll get into this, but I myself, I have to be careful, because most of my friends are female. I have to be careful with maintaining boundaries, because all my friends are wonderful people. I don't associate with people who aren't worth keeping around, and I keep them around because they have qualities that are admirable, and a lot of these qualities are the qualities I'm looking for in a partner. So I have to be intentional at times about the way I maintain my friendships, not to come off as cold or not to come off as a player, but to be real and genuine, but to maintain boundaries.
True. I agree, and I have a similar mindset as well. Let me just say, I like how this conversation is going, very organic, because some of the questions are already coming up and the talking points are already coming up. But I have a similar view where when it comes on to me and female friends, I always say that I don't run joke with female friends in the sense that one, if I don't feel like you can be of value to my life, I'm
Yeah,
not going to invest a lot of time into you. And I'll also say that if I know that I am prone to growing attracted to you, and I
yeah,
don't want that, or I'm not ready for that, I'm probably not gonna talk to you as much, to be honest. Like, yeah, we'll be
hey,
friends. I know that you're in my life. I'll help you in a when you're in a crunch or something, but
yeah.
we can't talk every day, because if we
Maintain some
talk every
distance.
day, if I'm always looking out for you and you're
The
always
natural
looking out for
progression of
me,
things, right?
it is highly likely
Yeah,
that is going to lead to something. Now, that's not
yeah.
to say to my female friends listening that hey, if I've reached out to you and I'm checking up on you and I'm looking out for you, that means no, that avoid Miguel because Miguel like me. It's not the case. I'm
Miguel
just
have
saying.
ulterior motives.
Exactly. I'm just saying I am well in tune with my
Yeah,
biological instincts, not just the
yeah,
physical, but the mental. And
yeah,
it is highly likely that the more time I spend with a lady, even if my intentions were not along an intimate pathway at first,
yeah,
more often than not, there will be thoughts and considerations where that is concerned.
yeah.
But that doesn't mean that we shouldn't have self control and
Really,
knowing
really, it
how
should
to
do.
set the boundaries, as
Yeah.
you said, to have healthy and quality platonic
Yeah.
friendships with women at the same time.
I don't want to make it sound like I've achieved and I reached because I've learned some of this through failure. So just putting it out there
Mm,
for the
yes,
kids at home.
trust me. Yeah, because we're like in our late 20s now,
Yeah.
and we've definitely been through a lot. Some of my experiences, TC can relate to, and I can
Yeah.
relate
Yeah.
and I can understand a few of TC's past experiences as well. And we can look back and thank God we can look back and laugh at them. We don't really have any
For real.
bitterness
For real.
towards other persons or towards even the past versions of ourselves, which is why we're able
Yeah.
to discuss these things now. But to
Yep.
answer, to give my response to the question I asked you, which is when I think about fulfillment in life, where do relationships rank for me and why? To be honest, while I value platonic friendships, I
Mm-hmm.
admittedly I am looking, I am seeking. As a
Yeah.
man, I am searching, and I would love to be in a quality relationship that would lead to a healthy and lifelong marriage. And I'm not thirsty. The Lord has been, keeping me faithful. My God, that's so cringe. But still,
Oh no, no.
I
Yes.
look
Go
forward to
ahead.
marriage. I look forward to parenthood as well. I think marriage and parenthood, I think both of them are like
Yeah.
great duties, and those are like the ultimate side quest of any human being, I believe. Being a
They
husband,
are.
being a father, I think those are like the ultimate duties on this earth, beyond being a professional or a millionaire or a billionaire. I mean, I want to be a millionaire. I'm working towards it, but even more than
Uh
being a
huh.
millionaire, I'd love to be a husband in a healthy marriage, and I'd love to be a loving and God fearing
Yeah.
father as well. So I prioritize that, to be honest. And that's my why. That's my why.
Yeah.
However,
And it's funny
to go
you
into the
say it's
next
the ultimate
question,
side quest. Sorry,
yes,
not to cut
fine.
you. Yeah, not to
Sure.
cut you. But it's funny you said it's like the ultimate side quest. But I think at a certain point in life, I obviously we're none of us are fathers here. But I think any real determined serious father will tell you that it might have been the side quest, but it becomes the main thing real quickly. And the rest of
Yep.
your life is the side quest. And I think any father who comes to that point is the ones who are doing it right.
I I like that. So the side
especially the
quest
ones who noticed
eventually,
that earlier on.
I like that. You said the side quest ultimately becomes the main mission in life.
Yeah, yeah,
So it is good for persons, both male and female, to have the right appreciation for marriage and parenthood as well. Right? That's very
yeah.
important when
Mm-hmm.
having these desires. But we digress. In the quest, however, for relationships or companionship, there we tend to go about that quest the wrong way, or we tend to seek after that in the wrong timing. So do you think, TC, that society today encourages people, especially men, to pursue relationships earlier than it is necessary? And do you see that as a good thing?
Mm. Does society encourage or push us to pursue relationships earlier? Do I consider it a good thing? You know what? I'm inclined
And in the
to say
context
yes.
of men,
And in the context of men, yeah. Um, we live in a, and this is probably a blunt way to start answering the question, but we live in a highly sexual society, and this is not just Jamaica. It's the Western world, and increasingly so the whole world. But I digress. We live in a highly sexual society, and it's unfortunate that we live in such a society that pushes young people to become interested, if not engaged, in sexual things pretty early on. Children are listening to dance album have on their school, and the children are out there twerking what they don't have. And as early as that is, granted it's not guys twerking, but you get my point. It happens really early on, and as a result, you'll have children being pushed into the reality of being very aware of sexuality. And to answer your question directly, it encourages sexual activities, so you end up having mothers and fathers, but not so much fathers in the sense that they are encouraging in the sense that they were prepared to become fathers. They just did the thing and there's a result.
so they are more
So in that
spread
sense,
those
society does
actual
encourage,
builders.
yeah. In that sense, society does encourage, it encourages reproduction, but not so much encouraging young men to become fathers. And to answer the last part of the question, no, I disagree with how it's being done. We end up with the situation that we have now. You have a lot of broken homes. And we'll get to this later on in the conversation, I'm sure, but I'm just dropping it here. There's a burden on my heart for young men, because I see the way I hear the way my female friends talk about the state of the dating pool right now. I'm in church, and if you go to any church, I'm pretty sure, any Adventist church at least, because that's my experience, what you'll find is there are more females than guys. And a lot of SDAs, young women, want to get married pretty early, but there aren't very many suitors. So what you find is, perhaps in an effort to correct, we don't have very many young men who are seeking to get married early because they're trying to do things right, or they're just not ready because society has cultured us wrongly. We're trying to learn and correct, and so things just progress in the space of years, and those young men who would have gotten married early to become fathers end up delaying that till later on in life when they are actually ready or they feel ready. So I definitely believe the way society is doing it is is definitely unhealthy, wrong for sure.
So from what I'm getting, you spoke from the perspective of, so you when you spoke, I got that music and overall the entertainment culture of
Media, entertainment, yeah.
Jamaica has done a lot in pressuring young people to pursue relationships way before they are ready to pursue them. You touched on dancehall music, and we're not against dancehall music explicitly, but
Yeah, it's not,
the,
yeah,
the lyrical content of a lot of these music indeed ingrains in the mind of young persons, even teenagers and children, that it's okay to engage with the opposite sex and only the opposite sex in ways that are grossly inappropriate for their age.
for their age.
And
Yeah, very maturely.
thus it becomes a norm that is passed down from generation to generation. So it's like
Yeah,
it's almost unnatural for kids to be kids anymore,
yeah,
because from a young age they're encouraged to pursue some form of a relationship from a young age, where it's now a normal thing for teenagers to be engaging in sexual intercourse and other
yeah,
illicit activities, mainly because of the culture that is there.
yeah,
When we find that young people or young children, because we're talking about the children, they choose not to engage in that. Admittedly, we might say, what is wrong with them? You know, do
uh-huh.
they have a
You know what's funny?
homosexual mindset or something?
Yeah, it's weird. You know what's funny? As you mentioned that, um, I think of the way teenage pregnancy is viewed, and obviously it's frowned upon for in most cases. But a little, if you zoom out a little bit, you'll find that the pressure for young men to become quote unquote men in society by having children is something that is lauded. Much like when it's a weird comparison to me, but much like when you're children and you have a one girlfriend and everybody say, "Yeah, they're so cute," and they nice and they can encourage it. What you'll find is men, especially if you are in the workplace. I'm sure you can relate to this. If you're in the workplace and you're around certain people, especially men in construction, who they're a little bit more rough cut, a little less
Yeah.
cultured. If you don't have a child by a certain age, you are the weird one.
Gelding.
Get in, load up on the truck. Yeah,
Yes.
man. It's even from men, it's encouraged, and you see, you're the odd one out if you're not having children. When
I can relate to that indeed.
Yeah, when I stand and I look at these guys who are um straight up bullying the younger guys to have children, these are the guys who are basically living paycheck to paycheck, hand to mouth, battling to find pampers and baby food. Them a live off a lot of
Yeah.
and cash pot to go buy them baby food. And these are the guys who take pride in having, it's like not even having, that's not the language they use, just then get some baby, then get some youth.
They have a
They
one
take
youth.
pride, yeah, in pardon my French here, but breeding this a one woman and breed one woman over this and breed one woman over this. This is what they take pride in. So the pressure comes from men as well. It's just how the society is designed informally,
True.
but
There are also unspoken timelines that are set for men and women, but we're
yeah,
emphasizing women. There are unspoken timelines set which pushes persons into relationships. So we just discuss the more raw, brutal nature of young people rushing into relationships. But even in the young adult stages, where most of us, we would have gone to university or we would have set up our profession and we're building life, there's this expectation where by the age
yeah,
of 25,
for
ideally,
real, yeah.
you should be married.
Hmm.
And if not 25, make sure 30 not catch you.
Yeah, before 30 for sure.
Are you still single? Or you're not
Something
married?
wrong with you.
Or you not have a child? Like,
Yeah, man. Something
what
wrong with you,
wrong
man.
with you? If
Yeah,
a
man.
male past 30 and he not have a youth, I am not married, they start look on him and way. And I am guilty.
Yep.
If a
No.
woman past 30 and she not have a child, she not in a relationship, they start look on her and say, hey, if your time up, she just have to go
That's
pick
so
from the what left.
sad.
And it's so sad.
That is so sad,
So
man.
sad. And I don't discriminate against such persons. No,
Yeah.
no. But admittedly, it's a cultural thing to
Yeah.
look at persons that way. And so we put pressure on ourselves to rush into relationships because we think that we are running out of time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
Mm-hmm.
my father, he got married at the age of 25.
Yeah.
As his firstborn, I was born when he was 27. Sometimes I look at it
Yeah.
and say, I am 27 and not even a girlfriend. Wow.
Well, you're missing, man. Missing in action.
How does Jen Alpha say, chat, I'm cooked? That's how I feel sometimes. But it's important to not allow ourselves to be limited by
Yeah.
these time constraints and understand that all things happen in God's timing and all
Yeah.
things indeed, work together for good for the young people and for the
Yeah.
young adults as well. And even for those who are over the hill, that cultural hill,
Mm-hmm.
don't rush into something or don't rush into a relationship if you know you're not ready and if you know that it is not ordained by God based on
Yeah.
certain
The
principles. Would
last
you
thing that
agree
should
with
be
me?
influencing us is societal pressure, man.
Because it's always changing.
It's all exactly. It's always changing. It's a different
But
thing next week.
yeah, but God's standards never change.
Amen.
But let us say that there are persons that do rush into relationships for these different reasons that were mentioned, right?
Yeah.
We are familiar with what we call the honeymoon phase.
Mm.
The first month to 3 months, sometimes six, marital or relational bliss. You only see the best in the individual. It's like, oh, thou art fairly beloved, my woman. There is no spot in or on thee. Like, you are perfect in looks, you're perfect in personalities, you can't do no wrong.
Not a flaw.
When you have on rose colored glasses, you don't see red flags, you just see flags.
Yep.
No color
Everything look
to it.
quick.
So everything nice for the first 90 days, right?
Yeah.
However, a time inevitably comes where things start to get either boring, rocky, or both,
Mm-hmm.
right? So, with that being said, what do you think actually sustains a relationship once that initial excitement wears off? Because we are not anti relationship at all,
Oh
but it's
no, no,
good to
no.
be aware of these things before it happens. What do you think actually sustains a
Yeah.
relationship once that initial excitement wears off?
As I think about this question, my mind immediately goes to Matthew Daniel.
Big up Matthew.
So
What
Matthew
is
is
his
a
should we give
strong
his full
proponent,
government
and when
name?
I say strong, I say that
Nah.
in all caps. I think we might run out of time.
We're probably gonna have to do a two-part on this,
Yeah.
which was not in the works at all.
Yeah, we need a whole part just for his name. Um, I think when when the thing about Matthew is he's such a strong proponent for marriage and young relationships or
Yeah.
getting married while you're still young. And he is definitely, and I don't mean to put him up on a pedestal here, but I admire him and Tashai, that's his wife, for those who are listening, because they are always encouraging us to do the work in preparing ourselves for marriage from now. And when I say no, I mean for a lot of their friends who are single.
Yep.
They
They
give us
always
all the
sending those
resources they used before they got married.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. And so, to answer your question, I think there's a lot of work that a lot of people, myself included, would have neglected to do prior to getting into relationships and prior to getting married. Now, I know the question you ask is once you're married, but um, for those who are listening and they're not yet married, there's a lot of work that needs to be done beforehand to know who you are, to know yourself. You have to know yourself before you get into a relationship, because when you get into a relationship with somebody, you're living with somebody, you're married, you're committed. On life, you're committed. Um, Everything is multiplied. Every difficulty, and I'm not saying this to cast a shadow over marriage at all, but every difficulty is multiplied, and what you find in vulnerable situations, things are just harder to deal with. You can't run away. You can't lock up and just say, I'm not going to deal with this, because how you're not going to deal with it? You live with a person. Worse if you have children. So you have to take time to know yourself, know how to deal with conflict, know how to approach opposing views, and that these are the tools that you take into marriage. Now, in marriage, I think the conflict resolution skills that would have been garnered or cultivated serves one well in marriage when things get tough. I also think a lot of young people, and I've seen many relationships fail. We're both in AdFail. We've seen AdFail relationships fail, and I don't say that to throw shade at anybody. I love y'all, but we've seen a lot of relationships fail, and we might not know why. But young people often get into relationships with preconceived ideas or misconceptions, unrealistic expectations, and we have to approach relationships to recognize that we are still two unique individuals. We're two flawed people. We all have things that we're dealing with, but now we have to deal with them together. So we have to learn how to navigate, learn how to deal with conflict. We have to keep pursuing each other, and that's something that Matthew will keep telling you. You have to keep pursuing your partner. Matthew has this analogy, and I've seen this in several places. It's a triangle where at each point there is the male, the female, and God. God is at the head. Thinking of a typical triangle here. God is at the head, and as you pursue God, right at the top apex is God. And as each individual pursues their relationship with God, they inevitably find themselves coming closer and closer to each other. And that I think is the perfect model for any relationship. Now, I know that's a bit big and it's not immediately practicable, because that's something that does take work and it does take effort and structure. But as a rubric, that's something that a lot of relationships fail to have. And this, I think, is the reason why a lot of relationships fail. In another sense, you have to recognize that your partner is, you're in service to your partner. Yeah? If you think of your partner as a person God asked us to think of it, let me say it this way. If we think of our partner the way God asked us to be our neighbor, then a lot of marriages would be happy places. Because if we're supposed to treat our neighbor like ourselves, or better than ourselves, the feelings or the thoughts or the needs of our partner will always be placed before ours. And if both people are doing that, then how can we go wrong? You know? I
Yeah.
think we tend to, and perhaps it's because of society or it's just our culture, how we're nurtured, we tend to be selfish. People generally, we tend to be selfish. And marriage isn't the place for selfishness. It just can't work. It just doesn't work. It just can't work. And communication is where a lot of issues can be worked out. Even if you realize you're stepping into a relationship or you're existing in a relationship with problems, you have to be conscious enough, aware enough to say, okay, we have issues. Let's tackle them head on. Let's communicate. If you need to talk to a third party, so be it. Get that done. because that thing will fail. Once the honeymoon passes and the butterflies settle down, let me not say die, because I know people who are old and grey, and they're still talking about butterflies. We don't know how that works, but they're still talking about butterflies. And it's once that phase passes, things get difficult, and it requires a lot of intention. I think that's the key takeaway here. It requires a lot of intention to ensure that the love that would have been a choice, not a feeling, stays alive, because both parties will feel it. It has to be a choice that you make daily, over and over and over and over. You're pursuing God, and it's something that's inevitable too. And I'm getting ahead of myself here, and I've been talking for a while, but something that is inevitable is that once you keep pursuing your relationship with God, your capacity for love keeps increasing. And as you move closer to God, you find yourself moving closer to your partner. And if you're intentional about loving your partner, making the decisions to love your partner, that love that exists within that union will keep growing. And the honeymoon phase never really dies. I'd like to think of it that way.
Well said. Well said. And he who has an ear to hear, let him hear. You definitely said a lot, and I agree with everything you've said, but for the benefit of those who may have had trouble listening to everything you said, not that anything you said was a problem, but in the big 2026, people's attention spans are just over.
Oh, fair. Flip it.
Let me summarize, and you can tell me if I'm on the right track. In order to ensure that a relationship is sustained beyond the honeymoon phase, once the excitement wears off, what I got from what you were saying is that one, a person must know themselves. Know yourself.
Yep.
Know who you are, not just your strengths, but also your weaknesses. That's kind of a perk for me, because as a recovering overthinker, I'm always critiquing myself. I am my own harshest critic, and I'm learning to be more gentle with myself, but at the same time...
Oh, I'm with you, bro. Same.
Yes.
Same.
As time goes by, though, I'm learning how to understand who I am, the strengths of what I have to offer to a relationship, and also what aspects may be a personal challenge for me, or what could be a challenge to another person based on who I am. And that will give me a clear-eyed view going into a potential relationship, even from the friendship and honeymoon phase. Also, you must know your identity in God as well.
That's exactly right.
You must know that you are valued by the Lord. You must know that God loves you. Jesus Christ came and He died for you. You are redeemed, you are loved, and thus you're already valued in His eyes. And while a woman in a man's life or a man in a woman's life is supposed to enrich your life, God is the true author and finisher and writer of your entire life, and He's the one that brings true fulfillment. So understanding your identity, you'll know that you are worthy of love, and you're already receiving heavenly love from God, and thus you will go into a relationship with the right expectations. And on the other hand,
can we labor on that a little bit longer? Heavy on that.
Can we what?
I think, can we labor on that point a little bit longer?
Sure.
Because heavy on that, because I think a lot of people go into relationships to fill a hole, to fill a longing that...
Again, guilty.
Yeah, man.
Been guilty, not no, but been guilty.
Yeah, we get into it thinking that having somebody around will make us happy, will make us... give us that fulfillment that we're seeking through whatever, through sports, through professional pursuits, through addiction, through whatever. We keep seeking that thing, and I love how it was. I don't remember who came up with it, but it's the phrase goes, or the saying goes, there's a God-shaped hole in each of us, and
Yes.
nothing else will fill it. And that is heavy for relationships, because if you get into a relationship, and that honeymoon phase starts fading because you find that the person perhaps is not exactly what you thought they were, or that spark starts to die because of difficulty, or you see somebody else to catch your eye and you can't keep it screwed in, or held together. You keep chasing, and you destroy your relationship for no reason, when really and truly what you
Yes.
needed to do was to pursue God first and foremost. And then you get into a relationship, because that relationship will never get you what the relationship with God is supposed to.
So for those who constantly and relentlessly pursue relationships, looking for someone to fulfill them, I'm telling you from personal experience,
It's
only the Lord
unhealthy.
can give you true happiness. While I look forward to being a husband and I look forward to being a father, and these are good gifts, if we
Mm-hmm.
don't understand our identity in God, and if we don't let God have that first and foremost place in our lives, then all these other wonderful things, such as a relationship, cannot be added unto us. And even if God gives us the blessing, we may very well mishandle such
Oh dear.
blessings. And
And
I
that
think
is
I
a
have
big sin, the
mishandled
big
some
shame.
blessings in the past, I'll be honest.
Yep.
I think I
Yep.
mishandled some blessings. I'd like to think that some
Haven't we
persons
all?
mishandled me as well. But
Haven't we
talking
all?
from for myself, I made that mistake of thinking that a woman would have completed me or filled a certain hole in my life. But what happened is that I started giving more to that woman or to the factors surrounding that relationship instead of prioritizing God and realizing my identity in God. So
Yeah.
that's just
Yeah.
so that's one of the things. And to go back to what I was saying, the inverse, or in tandem with realizing your identity in God, you also need to understand your partner's or person of interest identity in God as well. Basically, a woman isn't a piece of meat.
Oh
You
dear.
know, she's not just a pair of boobs and a vagina.
Oh my gosh.
She's more than that. She's more than that. She is a
Yep.
daughter of the true and living God, and thus she is to be valued and loved.
Exactly.
So the
Exactly.
mindset that me just I'm gonna pursue a woman just because she look good on the outside, and I just want to knock her and move and just
Yeah.
want to have sex with her. I wouldn't even say that's not enough. It's nothing.
It really isn't.
So
It really
dare I
isn't.
say,
That fades
a
so
rela-
quickly.
dare I say you shouldn't pursue a relationship just to have sex, or just because she look attractive and you feel like she could give you a nice picnic. Cause my mom always tell me, Miguel, the personality comes first. Because
Ah.
a young lady can develop gray hair. She can
Mm-hmm.
meet into an accident and have
Yep.
facial scarring. What if
Yeah.
she's mutilated due to some freak event? What if she
Mm-hmm.
developed baby fat after giving birth? What if she let go herself because of some issue, whether self imposed or otherwise? And the
Yeah.
slimmers or the thickers just gone.
Yeah.
Are you going to love that woman any less?
Yeah. And
Does
your mom
that
would
give
know
you
this.
permission to walk away or to cheat?
Yeah. Your mom would know this intimately, because she's a nurse. So she'd have seen damage
Yes,
that people come in with that changes their life entirely for good.
exactly. So we have to understand that just as how I am fearfully and wonderfully made and I deserve to be valued, that person deserves to be valued as well. And
Yeah.
thus, we will have a clear mind in how we relate to other women, so that we don't objectify them or try to force certain things to happen before it's time or out
Yeah.
of the right context.
Yeah.
And
I love how
and
you said that, because it's heavy about
yeah,
respect, man. Because we we often look at least let me talk from my experience. There was a time in my life when I just saw women as objects to be pursued for my fulfillment, for my pleasure. And the older I get, I've come to see, obviously, the error of my ways, and two, to appreciate that my my female counterparts, one, are my sisters in Christ, so we have the same father, and two, yeah, as a result of them being my sisters in Christ, people who warranted the very blood of Christ, his sacrifice, I owe it to Jesus first and foremost to respect them. If I am pursuing a female for my pleasure, then I'm not doing that, and so I am not only sinning against them, but I'm sinning against God. And again, I'm trying to live my life in such a way that I'm pursuing God first. And if I find myself doing that, that being pursuing a woman to for my pleasure, it's the biggest sin in my eyes that I could commit against somebody, because I'm literally putting them in a position where I am causing them to sin because of my lack of respect. We have to come to
So from
the point as guys that we have to have respect and fear, respect for counterpart, and fear for God.
hmm. So from that perspective, pornography then becomes very abhorrent to watch. Then, if we
Oh yeah, oh
understand
yeah,
if we have the right perspective towards it, then, because
yeah.
even if some persons knowingly do it for money making or others, whatever other
Mm-hmm.
reason, us partaking in that intentionally, is indeed like
Is
objectifying
equally as bad.
women. Yeah,
Is
and
equally as bad.
even
Yeah.
even like objectifying our future partner as well, because the same respect has to be shown for women in private as it would be for that intimate partner. And dare we say, our future children, our future sons and daughters, you would want them to be objectified or just seen as pieces of meat or something like
Of
that.
course,
So
man. Indeed,
from
indeed.
that
Yeah.
perspective, like, it should be then an easy thing from a principled perspective to
Yeah.
say, I can't partake of pornographic material and whatever other actions accompanies that. And I'm not condemning those who watch pornography. Again, guilty. I've
It's
done
a
it.
challenge,
I'm not
man.
gonna
It's
say
a
I never
challenge.
did it. Not gonna
It's a
say I never did
masculine
it.
challenge.
But understanding our identity in God, understanding other person's identity in God, by God's grace, should help us to find it easier to abstain from these things and
Yo,
fornication.
can I bring that down to the grassroots? Yesterday,
Sure.
I hope none of my colleagues would listen to this. At least
What the other day, I
not
hold
anytime
back the
soon.
podcast youth. Yeah,
But yesterday, yeah, was it
imagine my
yesterday?
mother listen to this and say, Miguel, did you watch porn?
Oh dear. Sister Foster, it's in the past.
I am forgiven.
No one, for real though. Yesterday I was at work, and I've been ruminating on this idea of respect for a while actually. And yesterday, I've been also talking to God about it a lot. And yesterday I was at work and I saw this colleague of mine. It's a hot girl. Let me just say it. It's a hot girl.
Sure. Yeah.
And she's on the voluptuous side of life. And she was wearing a short skirt. And every time I see her, I feel the overwhelming urge to look away because I shouldn't be seeing her like that. And it's not that I was looking at her with impure thoughts. It's just that her clothes was just the way it was, that it just didn't look like supposed to out the door. And granted,
Yeah.
she was at work. And I'm not saying this to knock anybody. I'm just saying, because I think thinking about this idea of respect so much that when I see her, my reflexive response is to look away because I feel like I'm seeing too much of her. You get what I'm saying? I'm trying to say?
I understand
Yeah,
perfectly.
I just feel like I'm seeing too much of her. And I didn't say anything to her to condemn her. Of course, I treat her with respect and whatever, like I would have anybody else. But in my mind, just seeing her like that created a reaction in me that I'm not supposed to be staring at her. You know what I mean? And the typical masculine response would be to look, because she look good to the
Yeah.
masculine gaze, you know. So I say that to say, even seeing people on the day to day, on the street, it's very masculine to grope women with our eyes, and I say grope
With our
intentionally
eyes.
because, yep, I want to walk past and she steer good, and every man has steer. And I used to be that person. To be fair, if I'm not careful, I still find myself doing it. I have to
Yeah.
consciously think about it sometimes, to not, find myself reflexively or instinctively doing something that when I see other people do, it turns my stomach because I'm like, come on, we have to do better than this. But I'm guilty.
So
Yeah. I can't condemn nobody.
wow. So I guess with a new understanding, we can get what Jesus meant when he said, "If you have looked on a woman to lust after her, you've already
Oh gosh,
sinned in
man.
your
Mm,
man." So really and truly,
you've already sinned. Yeah.
our minds have to be renewed so that if we do see women who dress a certain way, we don't look at them to objectify them or to lust after them, but we do look with a sense of
Yeah,
sympathy
man. Even then
and
now we're
and,
not.
and disappointment as well, and not lust. We really and
And
truly,
disappointment. Yep.
we really should not be attracted to that. And for the well-meaning ladies out there, as much as men are accountable for their actions and their thoughts and how they should operate, I would encourage women to be their brothers' keepers in terms of how they dress and
Yeah.
how they
Yep.
carry themselves as well, because women also have a responsibility to dress modest and to carry themselves as chaste women or daughters of God.
Yeah. And
They have a
as people who
personal
are deserving of
responsibility.
respect.
Indeed,
Yeah.
indeed, and we know. Yep, I mean, even for those who may have this feminist mindset that, hey, we shouldn't follow the patriarchy, don't see these admonitions now as, oh, a man tells me so if you dress old and dusty, or
Of
the
course
men
not.
think that we're not supposed. Just, we love women. Women
Oh
are made
yeah.
to be beautiful, but
And
there
they're made
has
to
to
be
be a
loved.
level of exactly, but there has to be a level of consciousness with how they dress and how they carry themselves as well. And at the same
Yeah.
time, men have that responsibility as well in how
Oh
they
yeah. That goes
dress.
without saying.
The tight pants, the muscle shirt, them, and
Yeah.
even the shirtless pics on Instagram and those things. Is
Oh
it really
dear.
necessary? Is it really
Oh boy.
necessary?
It's the exact same thing as a girl wearing little to nothing. It should
And I'm not
it
hating on anybody who is physically fit or
I
persons who
know.
do that, but really, is it necessary to post these things? Is it necessary to
It's
broadcast the
only
abs that
it's
we
only
have and the muscles?
yeah. It's only more societally acceptable, but I think we need to come to the place that we're not holding double standards here.
Indeed, because women lust too.
Of course, of course.
Yeah,
I don't have a female in my
because
friend group who is not attracted to a good-looking dude.
we may not hear the discussions, but the discussions are certainly had.
Oh yeah,
That's for
100%.
sure.
Of
Yeah.
course.
So the final point I'll make, because we'll definitely have to return for a part two,
Oh dear.
is is this. Yes, we have more questions.
I
We're
just
gonna
I
have
just
to
saw the
do,
time. That's why I said oh dear.
yes, over 1 hour now.
Yeah.
The final thing I would admonish persons, and this kind of goes back to the beginning of our discussion. If you want a relationship to go beyond the honeymoon phase, cherish the friendship first.
Indeed.
TC, you
Indeed.
used to always tell me this, you know.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
know, don't rush it, Miguel.
Yep.
Don't move too fast. Don't just see women as just objects to be conquered, you know. But but learn to enjoy the friendship, even if you know that I have
Yeah.
a romantic attraction to them. Even if I know that I have a romantic attraction to a particular woman, I have learned that it is important to take quality time, spend quality time in getting to know that young lady without bias
Yep. That's the
and
thing.
with
That part without
in with
bias.
and with intentional time. Don't get to know the lady because all right, me like her, so we just get this over and done with so we can hurry up,
Mm-hmm.
stamp a label upon this and I can start saying she's my girlfriend and I can do the soft launch and then the official Instagram ready launch and all these
Oh
other
boy.
church events and stuff.
These
Again,
Instagram
guilty,
things.
guilty, but it's like you have to get to know persons
Yeah.
and pace yourselves. I have had to learn that as well. Pace yourself in friendships, and
Mm-hmm.
thus, when you truly understand the likes, dislikes, and the quirks of an individual, a romantic relationship will not be based on the physical, fleeting attraction,
Exactly.
but
Exactly.
there'll be a strong foundation for whatever else is built. And I should know this being in construction. No matter how
Yep.
beautiful the superstructure of a building want to look, if the foundation isn't strong, it will crumble.
Hey, if there's one thing Melissa taught us, is that you have to build the thing good.
Very good indeed.
This the structure has to be sound. The foundation has to be sound. If you're losing it.
Yes, so that's my final appeal based on personal experience. Be intentional with friendships as much as you are with relationships. And that's actually what you said in the beginning, DC. So
Yep.
commendations to you for
Yeah.
that.
That's a song I've been singing for a while. Can I just share a story here?
Sure.
If any of our old classmates, um, well, you weren't in high school with me, but if I have any old classmates from high school listening to this is when I went back to South High. I remember one day there was a teacher who asked a question. And they basically was asking, what's the way, how do you, get a girlfriend, I guess, or something to that effect. And even at my young age, I was what, I don't know, 14, 13, whatever. The question was asked, and my response was, make her your friend. And I don't know what planted that bug in me so early, but I've always thought that the best way to approach a relationship is to create a friendship first. It always seemed to make sense to me. The older I get, the more I realize, and this is from personal testimony of others, of course, and just my observation. And obviously, I don't know the people in life because I'm not a third party in marriage, in any other marriages. But the more I observe and listen, the more I realize that there was a lot of wisdom in that. Relationships that from my observation or my observation or personal testimony of the couple, are the ones that they seem to be friends first and foremost. And given high praise to Matthew and Tashai earlier throughout this episode. But anybody who knows Matthew and Tashai will, once they're together, will understand what it is to have a friendship first. Those two can talk for hours. And I mean, they're having conversations that going over my head. They're so intellectually stimulated by each other that you can see that their friendship runs deep, and that existed and it was firmly established before they got married. Granted, they're still young and they got married pretty young, a couple years ago. Oh,
Year
that
to 2 years.
sounds Strange to say. Yeah, yeah, yeah. They just got married a couple years ago, but anybody who sees them knows that they're friends first, and this carries over to other relationships that I can speak to or draw my conclusions from or assumptions that friendships seem to be the thing that make them work, especially when things get hard. When you're friends, you see the quirks of the person, you see the things that you like, you see the flags. The flags they can't always hide when you're a friend, especially friends typically don't tend to hide the darker parts of themselves from each other. Once you're friends and you like, you really spend a lot of time together, things show. Things show. These things can't really be hidden unless you're very good at it. And so you get to see the things, how they handle situation, how they handle difficulty when life starts stress them out, when they don't have no money, especially well, we're both out of college now, but at college, you can see when people don't have money, how they behave, how they handle this difficulty. Being in Adfel, you have a lot of, and for those of you who don't know, Adfel is this group between UTech and UA. It's a club of Adventists. Being in Adfel, you take on leadership responsibilities for events and all of these things, and a lot of them can be stressing. So you get to realize and learn how the person handles stress, and all of these things bring us closer. Of course, if you nurture the friendship and nurture the relationship, it brings us closer. And once you get into a relationship, you're already entering with, like you said, Miguel, a firm foundation. So your friendship runs so deep that when life happens, and I don't know if to deal with it, at least you have a good foundation to do so.
So true. So true. And that's really well said. So you just clearly explain the advantages of forming a friendship before going into a romantic relationship. Well, we're going to have to close now, and I'm really happy with the direction that this episode has gone. You'll be back for the next one. We're going to continue with the other questions because I believe that there are other things on this topic to discuss for sure.
Yeah, like we've been talking for a while, and I feel like we've barely scratched the surface.
No, we haven't. We haven't at all. And seeing that you mentioned Matthew and Tashai, it seems as if I'm going to need to get in touch with them for an episode at some point in the future as well. Because
I would second that one for sure.
Persons across the world may now be wondering, who is this Matthew and Tashai that they're speaking of?
Speak so highly of.
So for everyone listening, thanks for listening to this episode of the ChiselMe podcast. If this episode sharpened you, share it with a man or woman who is on his or her journey as well. Remember, becoming is a daily choice. So keep chiseling, keep becoming. I'm Miguel Foster. I was here with Thomas Connell or TC. Until next time.
Take care.